Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of the harvest season. My name is Al,
And my name is Chelsea.
and we're here today to talk about cottagecore games. A woo!
Woohoo!
Welcome back, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me again.
My pleasure.
Uh, we will try not to cry as much this episode.
No, slightly less emotional game.
A little bit, a little bit. Yeah, Chelsea passed on her interview, and so she's back for another episode. That's how it works.
Oh, thank you.
This
I
episode,
was not fed to the wolves.
oh yeah, this episode we are going to talk about Beastro. It came out a couple of weeks ago, I think. I've been playing it on Game Pass, and I think you bought it off Steam, didn't you?
Yeah, there was a sale on Steam, so it was Beastro, and it came with their other game, the Red Lamb, for a bundle.
No, not bad, not bad. So we're going to talk about that. We have some news, not a lot of news, which is a bit weird because we're recording this, 5 days after we originally planned, and there's still barely any news. Don't know why nobody's doing anything just now. Come on, give us some news.
Give us something.
Yeah, but we've got a little bit. We'll talk about that. But first of all, Chelsea, what have you been up to?
So it was Canada Day a few days ago, and everything was a bust because of crazy storms with hail and half the city
I wooed
flooded.
too quickly.
Woohoo! Our fireworks went on, but pretty much every other fireworks were canceled or moved. But yeah, I've just been outside with the kids. It's summertime now, and they're in day camp this week. Most of them are in day camp this week. And then, yeah, spending lots of time swimming with friends and just enjoying the weather.
Fair enough. And
playing Beastro. Yes.
And having and having lost the football as well. You're in the camp of no longer being in the tournament.
No, that was a crazy last game though.
I can't say I watched it because that would that would make it sound like I cared about football.
I was told, Kevin told me, he's like, don't even mention football. I was like, okay, I won't.
What is this? People giving advice on how to podcast with me behind the scenes. Say it to my face, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin.
I have also been playing Beastro, obviously. We'll talk about that. Yeah. But I've also been playing Rhythm Heaven Groove. That's the new Rhythm Heaven game.
Okay.
So it just came out last Wednesday, I think. So I haven't had a huge amount of time in it, but I played it a little bit. And so far, it is exactly what you'd expect a Rhythm Heaven game to be. So it's good. I enjoy it. I haven't got a chance to try. There's a new mode in it, which is like a combat mode. I haven't had a chance to try that out yet.
Oh, interesting.
Playing through the main stuff, but yeah, enjoying it so far. Have you played any Rhythm Heaven games?
The closest I've gotten was like Taikyo Drum Master. Or whatever that game was years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but is it a long game, do you think? Or
no, I don't think so. I mean, it is what you put into it, right? Like, I suspect if you play through it and then never play it again, then you're going to get maybe, an hour or two of gameplay. But like, I don't think that that's what most people are doing with that game.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I've not got to the end yet, so I can't give you an idea.
Do you find it's kind of peaceful? Like at the end of the day, you just want to do something predictable?
I'm not sure peaceful is the right word.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously, you gotta get the timing. But I do enjoy I've always enjoyed rhythm games ever since Guitar Hero came out.
Oh my God. Don't even start me on Guitar Hero.
In what way?
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, loved it. Rock Band, Guitar Hero, all of that.
Yes. No, I played many Guitar Heroes, enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
I sometimes go back and try and get back into it, but I think it's difficult because it's not on like a modern console, right? So I'm booting up my PS2, connecting it up to the TV to play it, which is obviously a lot of effort.
We had all the equipment at one point, but we just couldn't calibrate it properly, and then we moved, and we didn't want to bring the whole drum set with us. But now we never missing it, so we're trying to find it somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. All right, should we talk about some news?
Sure.
First up, Dolok Town have announced that their 1.0 is coming on the 6th of August. So maybe this is finally time for me to play it, because it's been on my list of I kind of want to play this for quite a while, but I've not actually got around to it yet.
Is that like the town from Shrek, Dolok Town?
Yeah, I hadn't noticed that. I guess it is similar, yeah. Uh, definitely not very Shrek-like.
No.
So yeah, they've listed a bunch of stuff that's new in the full release, but obviously, if you've not been playing that, that won't do much to you. They have said that the price is going to increase,
Oh, okay.
so guess it's time to buy it.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, they haven't said when it's going to increase,
Oh.
but obviously in the next month because they said
Oh.
before.
Okay.
Next up, Cozy Sanctuary have announced a new update, and they are including new animals. Ca-
Ooh.
Cacapos? Is that how cacapos, iguanas,
Cacapos.
foxes, goats, and pandas. I refuse to say
Oh,
bears. They say panda bears. I
panda bears.
refuse to say panda bears. They're just pandas or giant pandas, if you will. They're not panda bears. No
Can't be two
bears.
things, two of the same thing. I looked at this game and I think it would distract me too much to just have it on.
Mm, yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
other people would feel the same way, but that would take up all my concentration.
Yeah, I think these types of games. This is so for listeners. This is a Rusty's like. So there's lots of games like this. I think for certain people, these games are just very dangerous. Um,
That's what I always hope Neopets would be. Like
oh, okay.
have them on the desktop and you can just kind
Yeah.
of passively feed them or whatever. But I'm probably for my own productivity, that was like a good call to not have it like that.
Were you a big Neopetter?
I love Neopets. And then just like every other person, my account got hacked. Apparently there's like 80% of the Neopet hacking is from one person.
Wow.
And they had billions and billions of Neo points. And I tried to get into my childhood one, and it was just pillaged. Like
Yeah.
I had the rare ones and all. I don't know. The black market for Neopets is actually crazy.
Interestingly, my wife Rona, she still plays Neopets.
Is it from the same account, or has she started
I
over
think
as
it
an
is
adult?
I think it's the same account. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Yeah. They've also, this is Cozy Sanctuary, not Neopets. They've also added two different colors for each animal. So they say, so your sanctuary is more colorful. I'm not really sure that's what we need in a game that could already be distracting, is having more colors. That feels
You got
quite.
your shiny animals now.
Yeah, I suspect it's just you choose the color rather than it's, having to find it. I don't know.
Okay, that was
But
distract me even more. Like, oh, am I gonna
hmm
get the variant?
yeah. Yeah, I don't think we need shiny hunting in a Rusty Lake.
And cozy sanctuary.
They've also added UI scaling, so you can change the size of it.
Oh,
And our final piece of news, I told you there wasn't very much. Our final piece of news is Gaucho and the Grasslands have announced a new demo. So it is more up to date with the game. They say completely refreshed. This new demo is the best introduction yet to the world of Gaucho. Explore the grasslands, meet charming characters, care for your animals, and experience the beginning of this heartwarming adventure before diving into the full game. Best of all, once you purchase the game, your progress will carry over to the full version, allowing you to
oh, I love
continue
that.
your journey exactly where you left off.
I like when demos do that, and you don't have to just start over.
Yeah, agreed. All right, that's the news.
Woohoo.
Ooh. So we are going to talk about Beastro. It's probably a good thing that there's not a huge amount of news this episode because sometimes when we can get quite deep into these games, and from hearing some stuff from Chelsea over the last week, I wouldn't be surprised if we get quite deep and into the weeds here.
Don't give it away, Al. Come on.
Well, I didn't say which way around. I didn't say
No,
whether that
well,
would
no,
be good
that's
or
fair.
bad. So I like to give a little bit of a description of a game before we get into it. So I would describe Bistro as a farming slash cooking game where your cooking affects a roguelite battle with cards. Battle, what is it? Roguelike battle time. I don't know how to describe it. A roguelike adventure
Venturing
RPG
mission.
aspect of the game where you battle creatures and continue on your journey. Kind of. It's really. I think this is a really hard game to explain in one sentence. Do you want to try, Chelsea?
Yeah.
See if you can explain it
Nope.
in one sentence.
No, I cannot. It's basically three games in one game. Like I
Yeah,
I say that with love, but there's no way to summarize it simply
yeah.
because
The
everything influences everything.
the blurb on Steam is Beastro is a cozy culinary adventure where the fate of the world rests on what's for dinner. Farm and gather fresh ingredients, tackle cooking minigames, and create tasty recipes to fuel the caretakers for deck building battles as they seek to save the world.
Well, even they couldn't do it in one sentence.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, before we get into the details, let's quickly go. Chelsea, how much have you played this game?
I have completed it 100%,
Wow.
every achievement. Um,
So I
and I
guess you
think I
liked the
was
game
at,
then.
well, I'm nothing if not thorough. You know what? I wouldn't have finished it if I hated it. But I think honestly, about 10 hours of that was me not understanding the combat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's nowhere to practice, and the stakes for losing is high.
hmm hmm
In terms of, I don't know how far you want to get into it here, but in terms of you, if you lose all your ingredients.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it, I think. But
Yeah.
that's fair. I mean, we've hit another of the checkbox of Al accidentally plays a roguelike game. Because this happens far too. It's a rolling joke, a roaming, continuing joke on this podcast that I keep playing games and accidentally it turns out that they're roguelikes.
You
Um,
keep stumbling into them.
I will say, I think I'm not going to go so far as to say that I think this game is great. Like, okay, I'm not going to go so far as to say that I enjoyed this game. Let's put it that way. Um, uh, but I think this got close to being something that I could enjoy. I guess
Okay.
for context, I'm not a huge fan of roguelikes at all. But I did. Have you ever played Cult of the Lamb?
No, but I've heard things about it.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a rogue. It's kind of in some ways similar to this, in that you have your like area where you're building a village, and then you go out to battle and you gather things and come back.
Okay.
And I think that aspect works quite well as part of the larger game, where you have your village where everything is safe, and you go out to gather things. And if you die when you're out, you lose what you were gathering. Ugh, what you were gathering. I think that is kind of the best balance I've found. I think the problem here, which we'll get into in detail later on, but I think the problem here is I just don't like the combat in this game, right? I think if I liked how the combat worked and I enjoyed that part of it, then I think I would like this game a lot more.
Okay. You see, I liked the combat once I understood it. The day-to-day
Interesting.
stuff in the game could not care less.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well let's start off with that then, because so
Okay.
this game is set into like roughly three parts of the day. If we get too in detail in this, it will turn out that that's nonsense. But it's kind of three parts of the day. So let's start off with the morning, and this is this is the bit that I enjoyed.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so
Interesting.
this is where your farming is, right? So you're in this village. You are at a was he a fox? Is he meant to be a
I
fox?
think you're a fox.
I
I
don't know if
think
they
you're
ever
a
actually
fox.
explicitly say what you are, but he looks like a fox.
A fox with an apron and stick legs.
Yeah. So yes, yeah, you're a bipedal fox, and you are in this village, this gated village, which is you learn very quickly on is gated because there are horrors beyond the gate, beyond the walls, and
Horrors
so you
beyond our comprehension.
Yep. So you are safe in this village, and you are you're taking over the local, the restaurant, which, we might, not sure how far we're going to go into the story, but let's start with that.
Well, you're
Um,
safe because there's a guy blocking the door. So that's the
yeah,
full proof. There's one guy at the door.
yeah, who is very bad at keeping people out. Um, So your job is to tend to the farm. You're gathering ingredients for running a restaurant. So let's talk about the gathering first. So there's a bunch of stuff that's just kind of like growing around. So you can like grab like grubs, which you use for feeding your animals. There's random herbs and stuff like that growing around the place.
Yeah.
And then your farm is kind of like a an extension of that. It's pretty simple farming as far as farming games go. You have bathtubs which you are growing plants in. You've got rice. You've got a bunch of most of them tend to be like fantasy type ingredients, but there is stuff like rice and was it fiery tomatoes? I can't remember the names of these things, but
Yeah.
there's like different vegetables that you
Yeah.
grow in these
And the
bathtubs.
running carrots.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so the farming is not there's not a huge amount to say. It's quite low key. There's like you're not going to be setting up as in many farming games like 500 plots. You start off with two and then it's quite expensive to add more. So I think I got up to like six. I don't know what the maximum is above that.
The maximum was 8.
Okay,
So you're
right.
almost there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So not much more than that. So it's not like in Stardew where you're trying to cover your entire land with farming plots and it takes you 3 hours to do everything. Here it's
Oh my
like you've
goodness.
you've got six bathtubs. You go down, you take what's harvestable, and then you water them, and you're done in about 10 seconds. It's pretty low stakes farming.
Did you get to the point where the birds water your crops for you?
No, I did not. You saying there's more automation that I didn't get to? Oh.
The only automation really is the birds water your crops for you.
Ah, well. I missed that.
And
I mean, it's also
okay.
like that is such small automation in a game where that
Yeah.
takes you barely any time. Like you're removing 8 clicks from your day.
Yeah, and you don't even need to when you aim to water, you don't even need to aim at the seed. Just
Yeah,
like in the general
yeah.
vicinity.
You walk up, you press A, and it does it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the farming's
Um
pretty standard. But you also have a bunch of different animals as well. So I am not going to remember any of the names of these animals. I
okay,
don't know
so
if you've got them in the top of your head.
the cows are just cow, Kaoo, I believe.
Hmm.
And then the lizards are like spinoots, I believe, that are in the river.
Oh yeah.
They give you the tails that you feed them the lily pads.
Yes.
And then the toucans, I can't remember their name. And then there's the fenpires, which are these fennec fox vampires with like long teeth that are really cute,
Oh, I haven't
but
unlocked them.
you can't really interact with them. They only come at night.
Oh, right.
And
Okay. Okay.
you
Okay.
feed them a treat, and then they like they shave down their teeth with the treat, and then the next morning you just pick them up and you use them for like treats for your chickens, basically.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So most of the animals are pretty similar to the farming. It's very low maintenance. You have each of them has a specific type of food that they eat. You provide them with that food, and they provide you with something
Yeah.
that you can cook. So the chicken-like animals, they give you eggs and also legs off themselves, which I don't know whether that was
They
explained, but that's weird.
you open the box and the chicken legs are there. You don't see
Literally,
any
it's
of the
like
butchering.
yeah. I don't. I'm guessing it's one of these things like where like lizards sometimes just pop their legs off and grow a new one or something like that. I don't know. The
We don't know
cows.
who is butchering our chickens at night, but they just every day we come and there's 4 chicken legs in the
Yeah,
box.
yeah, weird. The cow type thing. The cows. You said they were just
Yeah.
called cows. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
they're cute.
they provide you with milk, obviously. Um, there was the little lizards in the water. I can't remember what they give us.
They give you the tails.
Oh yes, the tails. It's all just
Yeah.
like different types of food. The
It's just like
specifics of them
portions of
doesn't
a meal.
particularly matter, right?
No.
Again, like the farming, it's very, very low stakes. It's like here are your if you forget to feed them, you just don't get the thing the next day, right? Like I
Yeah,
don't
there's no friendship level at all. It's just you don't get the supplies the next day.
exactly. So there's a number of different ones. You unlock them as you go, and you can add more of them as well. But again, you're not adding 30 animals, like
No.
you're adding. I mean, I've got 2 cows and 2 chickens, and I presume they don't increase much more than that.
No, the max is 2 cows.
There you go.
But yeah, that's it. It just doubles your milk, so you get 4 bottles instead of 2. And then you get
Yeah,
additional
yes.
fur,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah. And then the other food gathering thing during the morning is the fishing. And this is a pretty simple fishing minigame again. But I guess in terms of fishing minigames, it's probably one of the ones that I least dislike. I'm not a huge fan of fishing mini games.
I actively avoid fishing games. This one wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I think that's probably because it was like the least to do. It's slightly more than Animal Crossing fishing and much less than Stardew fishing.
Yeah,
So the
definitely.
idea is you have one fishing rod that you go up to, and you have to have the bait. I think you can use. There's multiple different types of grubs you can use. That
Yeah,
because
there's the
there's this.
daytime
Yeah,
grubs and then the glowy grubs for nighttime fishing.
yeah. And you interact with the fishing rod, and basically you aim for these like bubble circles in the water. So you aim left and right, and then you have to decide how far you're going. And the aim is just to get inside one of these bubble rings. And if you get inside one of the bubble rings, then at some point a fish will hook on, and you just press the A, and that reels it in, kind of like the Animal Crossing stuff. And if you miss one of the bubble rings, you just have to try again. So there's a little bit of skill in it in terms of you have to aim for the circle, but it's not particularly hard. Once you get the idea of
No.
how far to go, it's pretty easy, and there's not really any downside. You don't lose your bait if you miss.
Yeah, you don't lose it if you miss it, but if the fish hooks on and you don't reel it in right away, you lose the grub.
Oh, I'd missed that. Right. Okay.
But
Okay.
did you unlock the second fishing rod area?
No, I did not. Where is that?
It's so I worded it wrong, but it's the same place, but it's a further bubble. You
Oh,
get
right. So it's
you
another
like
another
unlock
bubble ring.
yeah,
Right. Okay.
and you
Okay.
get like rarer fish through there that are more useful towards the end of the game.
Right.
And then you have that guy near the restaurant that tells you the what fish will be there that day. You pay him 50 solira, and then he tells you what's there. So it just fills up the holes so you see what kind of fish there are.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the morning. It's just kind of your standard farming game stuff, just kind of pretty simple versions. I didn't I kind of enjoyed it the most of this game because it's kind of the predictable routine type stuff that you get in a farming game that I quite like. Tell me why you didn't
I did
like it.
have to laugh. I had to laugh because the first few days I played, I think I was in like Legend of Zelda mode, like, oh my God, the day's passing.
Yeah.
And then I realized that it doesn't move until you progress to the next part
Oh,
of the
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Once you enter the restaurant,
Yeah.
then you start the second part of the day, but there's no rush in the morning. So you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah, so that's actually something that I've kind of talked about quite a bit. Like I like when games do this sort of thing where they're playing around with time a little bit more because obviously you've got your Stardews where it's running at like 15 minutes per day, and then you've got your Animal Crossings where it's running to real time.
Mhm.
And it was the one thing. So I talked about Sugar Dew Island, which I hated, but one of the thing I really liked about it was the idea of not having time. Because
Mhm.
what I really one of the things I'm not enjoying a lot just now is when farming games have both time, like limited time, and also limited stamina, because then you have like two things you're
Mhm.
trying to beat the whole time. Um, and this game has neither of them. It doesn't have limited time and it doesn't have stamina. But what it does have
No.
is just a limited number of things you can do at each point. So it's like, it's almost, if you're looking for cozy, that's almost the ultimate cozy, is just here's a bunch of stuff, do as much or as little as you want of it, and then continue. You decide when you're done.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, because you
quite
don't
like
have
that.
to gather everything, but you do need
No,
it
but you do.
for the restaurant. Yeah, I guess
Of
you
course you, of
I
course you
shouldn't
do.
say you
Who
can't because you
doesn't?
do need it.
Who doesn't?
Uh,
Who doesn't gather everything? Come on, Chelsea.
did you play the mini game Clamors?
No.
You didn't do Clamor?
No, where was that?
The guy on the shore, and then you slid like the seashell mini game.
Oh no, yes. Oh yes, yes. He turns up one day and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no, I did. I did. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah, I
just
did."
the 10 levels, and then you just
Yes.
can never play him again for fun.
Oh,
And I'm like,
really?
why can't I play
Interesting.
Clamors anymore?
No, I did the first level. I won it and went, "Okay, I'm done with this."
Yeah, I didn't know how far up it went, but eventually you're slamming your clam so high it goes into space.
Obviously.
It's
Makes
funny.
sense.
Yeah, you just get like rewards for the restaurant. It's kind of the same thing every time, though. Even in the description of the item, it's like, okay, this is a lot of aquariums because he just keeps giving you aquariums.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I got
but
the
I
first
felt,
aquarium and then I was like, okay, sure, fine. I'm not planning on finishing this game, so I don't really care about getting more of that. Yeah, so
you
tell
knew
me
I was going to finish it.
Oh, you well, I didn't know you were going to finish it 100%. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. So so you said this is the bit that you dislike most in the game. Tell me why.
When the fate of the world is on my shoulders, I'm not collecting grubs.
But you are if that's how you help.
I know, but first of all, I'm the sous chef, not the main chef until the guy comes back and submits the restaurant to you.
Sure. You're the
Yeah, so I
acting
like,
chef.
yes, there you go. So I didn't mind the crops and stuff. Um, I thought NPCs would be helpful, but they're not.
Hmm.
They say hi, hello, or I'm getting my steps in today. There is
Yeah.
a there is a caretaker that comes towards, well, I don't know how late, I don't know if I did it wrong, but he came to me towards the end of the game, and he will collect all of your stuff for you for the next day. So gathers it all at night, all your grubs, all your
Ah.
things that you can collect around the town, like the plants that grow and the dough tree things. And then he just like leaves them in a box. And then if you want, you can pay for them. If not, you just gather them yourself. But
Okay,
I
interesting.
unlocked him like the day before I did the final boss. So I feel like I did it in the wrong order. But he came super, super late in the game for me.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna mostly look forward to the farming aspect, but I actually really enjoyed the card mechanics.
Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, I think the point about the village just kind of feeling like it exists rather than it's doing anything is fair, right? Like there's you unlock kind of shops and stuff like that throughout the village which help you with the other stuff that we're talking about, but it doesn't really feel like how do I describe this? It feels lived in, but lived in by empty husks.
I have in my notes here, I literally have a note saying town is empty.
Yeah. Like
Um,
there are people, but they're not doing anything. They're not really. They don't seem to have much. They put all the personality into the Guardians,
yeah,
which
yeah,
you
like they
unlock
show
as you
up in
go
your
and nothing
restaurant,
else.
and that's it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they
they
are
show
your
up.
restaurant patrons.
They barely even have a name. If you're not paying attention, you might
No.
not even notice that.
Yeah, and yeah, like the way that the store unlocked was cool, I guess. Like you have to supply the iron and stuff to unlock the garden beds and your cooking skills and stuff like that. And I don't know if you got to the point later in the game where the quarry unlocks,
No,
like
I
in the
didn't get to
town.
that. No.
So instead of having to venture out in the different biomes and just getting supplies that way, there is a little quarry in your town where you can collect iron and the crystals for flavor enhancement.
Yeah.
That I never used, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I do.
Um,
I don't. I think that's interesting, but also it feels like it takes away one of the three main parts of the game. Like why such a drastic difference there in how you do it? Hmm.
yeah.
Okay, so those are all the things you can do in the morning, and then you've done all. You're either like me and you're obsessing over making sure you do absolutely everything, or you're like Chelsea and you're like, I don't care about any of this. I just want the food. And then you go to your cafe and you decide. There's a few things you can. I mean, technically, there's a few things you can do in the cafe before you open it. Like you have to when you get new ingredients, you have to like test them. But
Yeah.
realistically, that's only like doing the cooking before you do the shop. It's well, I'll get to that in a minute. But there's a few kind of admin tasks you can do in the shop in the restaurant before you open. But realistically, if you're going into the shop, it's and I keep saying shop into the restaurant, it's to open up. So what you do is you choose the meals. So you can choose. I don't know if this changes whether you can upgrade it, but when I was playing it, it's up to four meals you can choose.
Yeah, it stays the same. It's up to
Okay,
four.
so you can choose four based on the recipes you know and what ingredients you have, and then you open up the restaurant, and then you do the first cooking part because there's two cooking parts, of course, just to be weird and complicated. There are two cookings. So the first part of the cookings is those recipes that you chose. You have a bunch of different mini games that you have to do basically to cook them. So I don't have the list of all of them. Do you have the list up or? Uh,
There's roasting, saute, chop, tenderize. I think that's the four.
I think
Boiling.
there's boiling as well. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so
those
let's
are the
just
five.
let's just talk about them because they're obviously different mini games.
Yeah.
Um, So there's the chop, which was is basically a rhythm game. You've got a what's it called? Moving thing. I can't remember what the name for this thing is.
The cleaver?
Moving what? No, no, no. The
Oh,
thing that's moving, bringing them towards you. Why have I
oh, a
forgotten the
conveyor
word?
belt.
A conveyor belt. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. You've
Yeah.
got conveyor belt coming towards you with the ingredients, and you have to chop them in time to them coming down. It's fine.
Yeah.
Um, you have the frying, which is where you have the items in a frying pan and you have to move them around to avoid hot spots and burning them.
Did you play with a controller? Or did you play on the like on a keyboard?
I played on my Steam Deck, so I played with the controller on that, and it
Okay,
just
I played with the Xbox controller on
yeah,
my yeah, so I was able to t tilt that one pretty easily. I just wondered
yeah,
how it worked for other people.
yeah. I'm presuming that it would use the mouse for that because then you're kind of moving
Okay.
it around, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I didn't try that. Um, and then you've got the boiling, which is you have to throw into there's three different pots, and you have to throw into the different pots. The further away, the more you get, but also there's like a specific one that's highlighted, which gets you
Yeah.
quite a lot more. I can't remember the exact. It's like 10, 20, and
I think
30, but I
it's
can't remember what they are without
30.
the.
I think if you just get without it is 5 points
Right.
without the
Okay.
circle around it
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
for the
So it's
closest one.
you have to aim, but it's the same aiming as the fishing, where you figure out the right height on the bar. You've got a bar that tells you it is like how much force you're putting in, and you
Yeah.
just figure out where it is on the bar, and you just do that. So not particularly hard. I wasn't finding any of these particularly hard. I don't know about you.
No. Yeah, like did you get to the point where you could automize one? Like did you have Travers take over one of the techniques for you?
No, no,
Okay, so
he's still in chains.
once he's free of chains, he basically takes over one of your stations for you. So no matter what you do, you'll get a fantastic, like
Okay,
perfect score on one of the techniques.
right, okay,
So I just put
fair
him
enough.
on the boiling one because I was bad with that basketball part, but I was good at all the other ones.
Fair enough. And then there's the roasting one, which you unlock that one that's not there at the beginning. You have to fix the oven to do that one.
Yeah.
And that in that you have to basically put the right amount of wood in the fire to warm up the ingredients enough, but not burn them.
Yep.
None of these I found particularly intriguing. They feel like kind of Mario Party mini games, but if you were playing Mario
That's
Party,
exactly what I said to my husband. This is
if you were
like mini
playing,
game, Mario Party
yeah,
games.
but if you were playing Mario Party and there were only five mini games,
Did you unlock the tenderizing one yet?
I know I didn't get to that point now.
Okay, you're just basically you have these things in a pot and you just mash a hammer around and break
Okay.
them apart. And the more pieces that they break into, the higher your score.
Is that just as fast as you can button mash then? That
Yeah,
one.
pretty much. Just go like across the pan, and it's pretty easy to get the perfect score every time.
I mean, realistically, most of these are pretty easy to get the perfect score. Like out of the four things that I did most days, I would get three out of four of them being perfect.
Okay.
After a few days, you get. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to speak for anyone else. After a few days, I got pretty good at them. They weren't
Yeah,
particularly hard.
that's fair.
Okay, so that's the kind of first cooking. And then once you've done all the mini games you need to for the ingredients you have, because different ingredients need specific the different preparation methods. But once you've done all of that, then you have to rush the meals over to the other people. I say rush, you have like 60 seconds. It really does
Yeah, and
not take, it takes like
you can't
three.
even give the wrong you can't even give the wrong recipe to somebody. Like I
Yeah,
thought, oh, I'm gonna give it to the wrong person. It just doesn't let you serve the wrong thing.
yeah, yeah. So it's feels like a weird part of addition to the game because it's just like it just feels like more busy work.
Yep.
And I never got any of them like not in the time, not in the green timer. Never mind
Yeah,
the
same.
yellow or red. Like I don't know how you'd manage not to do that.
No idea. But I found towards the end of the game, I was saving all my big ingredients for the caretaker for their
Yeah.
battle. And honestly, it gets to the point where once your restaurant is at max appeal, which is 10 people, you could just choose one dish if you have enough of that ingredient and just serve it to all of them.
Oh, interesting.
And then you
Okay.
save. That's what I don't know if that's how, probably not how you're supposed to play, but and then that way you
If
save
it
all of
works, it
your rare.
works. Who cares if it's what they
Yeah,
wanted you to do?
that way you can save all of your rare,
Yeah,
expensive
okay.
ingredients for your caretaker.
And presumably at some point you're like I found that money was not hard to come by. So
No,
it's not like you're going to be like maxing out the amount of money you can make from the meals anyway.
no,
All right. So that's the what I thought was the main part of the game. But it turns out
that's just the
there's a
beginning.
whole other part of the game and a second cooking mini game, if you will, where you learn quite early on in the game that you have these characters called guardians. You start off with one of them, and they go out and defeat monsters out in the wild, and it's your job to feed the guardians the right food to ensure that they have the right tools at their disposal to fight
Yeah,
the monsters.
right.
So that starts off with the cooking, but it continues later. But let's talk about the cooking first. So you start off with a base of a meal. Um, you choose that, and then you can add basically as many ingredients as you can fit on the plate, right? You've got a grid, and each
Yeah, the
each
grid.
ingredient takes up a certain number. Like they might be a 1 by 1, or they might be a 3 by 3, some whatever. There's loads of different ingredients, and you have to fit them onto the grid. The complication here is that different ingredients have different flavors, and the flavors change the cards that you get for the battle later on. And this is the
Right.
thing that I suspect, based on what you've said, confused you the most to start with, and certainly confused me.
The grid didn't confuse me, but the
Not the grid,
card
just the cooking, the
typings
cards. Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah. The what
Yeah,
ingredients to use confused me because
yeah.
I don't think they do a tutorial on what you're meant to be doing, but
Once.
once, yeah, once
And if you
if
hit
you
A, it's
zoom through
gone.
that, if you zoom through that, that tough. That's it. You don't get to see the tutorial again. At least neither of us found a way to do that. Um,
Nope.
but yeah, it and part of the problem was we were both playing this game quite early on, so there's not a huge amount online about it yet.
No, I'm
Um,
looking through and I'm like, oh, I have to be writing the guide.
don't do that. It's a dangerous thing to do. To become the person that everybody wants
Oh,
the guides
goodness.
from. Um, so it's further complicated by the fact that so each ingredient has a flavor. It also has like a value to the card that it gives you as well as a flavor. So each card has a flavor and a value. But also the overall dish has total values for the flavors, which are affected by not only the ingredients you put in, but where you put them on the grid and what ingredients they're next to.
Yeah.
Now, this is something I never figured out. Now, please tell me if you understand this.
Okay.
So each ingredient gives you a specific card, but as
Yes.
far as I can see, the overall values don't seem to specifically affect the cards. So if you put something that, so there's, if you put an ingredient next to another ingredient that increases the overall flavor, it didn't seem to affect the actual values on the cards themselves. It
No.
just affected the overall flavor, which did affect your HP, but not the cards themselves.
No, you would still get the same card effects, but
Yeah.
yeah, later in the combat they wouldn't complement each other. But it doesn't really matter in terms of the actual meal. Like unless you go against the preference of the caretaker, but that's like
Yeah.
the friendship thing is completely not related to the meal.
Yeah, that's what I
Really.
thought. But that to me, and this is where my big issue comes in, is that overcomplicates it all because not only do you have to figure out what cards you're going to need, right? Like what flavors you're focusing on, but you also have to focus on the overall scores. But if I'm putting things next to each other in the cooking, I'm putting things next to each other to increase or decrease specific flavors, so I get the overall flavors. That doesn't give me an advantage other than the HP in the actual game. So I'm like, okay, I've got this thing that gives me a 5 bitter and I put something next to it, it doesn't change the card, but it changes the overall flavor, which just
Yeah.
changes whether or not I get more HP later on. It's like, why is it doing two different things? That's what I'm confused about.
Yeah, it's a pain because I found once you unlock their max friendship, though, it doesn't impact as much because they still get a bonus.
Right.
I know. It was a lot, and I really wish in that empty town that there was one person that you
We
could
could have talked
consult
more about
with,
it. Yeah.
like maybe had like a practice or like, oh hey, do you need some help or just some sort of like
Yeah.
guide.
I mean, the good thing is that if you do fail, you can then just try the next day. But obviously, you're then having to like get more ingredients because you use them up. I think that's the most frustrating thing to me, right? So if I go back to Cult of the Lamb, which is my baseline for this is a good roguelike.
Okay.
If you go out and do some battles to get some items and you fail, you come back with you some of the stuff, but you lose some of the stuff. But the key point is you didn't have to pay to go out, right? Like if on in
Right.
this to do the battle, you have to use up ingredients. Those ingredients are used up no matter what happens. So if you die, well, you're not dying, but if you fail and come back without your ingredients, you're now it's not that you don't have more ingredients, it's that you have less ingredients because you've already used up a bunch of ingredients.
Yeah, and then basically you have to go out and do a wasted day to get some of those ingredients back because the market is terrible. There's like
Yes,
five
yeah,
items.
yeah,
And
and
so
they
yeah,
cost
you
you
can't
money, and then
yeah.
you could try and go out again and get more ingredients because the best ingredients tend to be like when you're out and about.
Yeah, so if you actually want to do a good meal and you fail, you have to go back probably 1 to 2 times. So that's 2 days wasted of ventures and then get a return back to the town because you can use the call bell to return back to the restaurant. And then you still bring 75% of what you gathered. But that's another day that you're wasting. And then you have to do all the gathering, all the ingredients, the cooking, the board all over again.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah.
it's very treacherous. Well, not treacherous, but tedious is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, if you had no cost to going out, then you would feel like you'd be able to experiment more with that, right? And try these things more rather than like, oh, now I have to waste multiple days to get back to the point I was after failing.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that is important in this cooking that we've kind of talked about and is also important in the battling is the flavors affecting each other. So they do
And
the
that's where I had no clue what was
yeah.
going on for
So
like several days.
in the tutorial they tell you how this works, but this was the only thing I actually got from the tutorial, and it's the only thing you missed from the tutorial, which is funny. But basically what part of the problem is their graphic, I think, is incredibly confusing for trying to explain this. So you
Oh, the
have
type
this
matching chart?
yes, yeah. So you have
No
this like
clue. Yeah.
little graphic that is a circle, and the flavors are next to each other. So you'll have like two flavor. I don't have it up in front of me, and it's not on the Steam page, annoyingly. Bistro
Oh, I know what it is.
type chart. I just want to have it
It's
in
also
front.
on your home screen if you want. If you go on
Yeah,
Panko's profile,
I,
it's
I
there.
I do not have that up in front of me just now, sadly. Ah, here we are. I've got it right. So you've got this almost circle type thing. So you have umami and sour next to each other with a little tilde connecting them, which means they enhance each other. And then next to sour is that one's scored out. What is that one? What's the yellow one?
Oh, spicy!
Spicy. I don't know why it's scored out on this one. There must be
Because it's a
something going
big
on.
mystery for everybody.
Oh, is that what it is?
It
And
comes later in the game.
they balance each other. Part of the problem, I think, is these
Which
words
to
are
me, I
so
thought meant
confusing. What do they mean?
to me, I thought balance meant they work together.
Yeah, nope, nope, that's
They,
enhance.
I
And
know, but
then,
I'm like, what do you mean weaken?
so I think part of the problem is that it's not like a type chart where everything affects the one to the right. It's they all affect each other. They all affect the ones next to them, but in both directions. But it's different depending on which direction you're going.
Mhm.
So, so in the cooking, because these two, the enhancing and the balancing mean different things in the cooking than they do in the battling, which I think is part of the confusion. We'll get to the battling in a minute because part of the problem is they are very intertwined, but we do need to talk about them one apart from each other as well. So
Mhm.
in the cooking, balance enhancing. See, I already confused myself there. Enhancing in the cooking means they increase the total value of both flavors in the
Yeah.
overall values, which again, all that affects is your HP
Yep.
and I guess how happy they are when they eat the food.
Just for the meal, yeah. In the bottle, it's a little different.
And then balancing in the cooking means they decrease the value of both of them for some reason. Enhancing kind of makes sense when it says it, right? Enhance, that means going up, but
Power
balancing
up.
balancing does not mean go down. That's not what that
That's okay.
means.
Exactly. So I thought if I gave my bitter caretaker, if I gave him whatever went brought bitter down, salty, I think. I thought it was gonna hurt my caretaker.
Yeah.
And they don't explain that. Like you
No.
can use any different kinds of cards for everyone, and it
Yep.
doesn't matter. So like you
Yep.
should
And
have,
in fact, you will
yeah,
need to because you won't certainly after the first couple, you won't get through with only one or two types. It just won't
no,
work.
no.
So goodness me,
I'm
this is
too
so
Pokemon pilled.
complicated to explain. But
To me, it was like same type attack bonus.
yeah. So, and one thing about the overall flavors is that there's like a target range. So it's not just about try and increase them all to the maximum, because I guess the lore is that that wouldn't make a tasty dish, I guess. But yeah, so you're like trying to put as many ingredients as you can on the grid, and as high value ones as possible, so you get high numbers on the cards, and also as many different kinds. But you need to stick within a certain range for every flavor, which means that you can have the
Yeah.
exact same ingredients on the board that
Yeah.
match, and it match the overall flavors, and you move the items and it doesn't match them anymore because they're next to different things. Which,
Yeah.
first of all, is not how meals work.
Eat around it.
That's not how food works, right? Like I don't if I have a plate of food and I put the carrots next to the potatoes, it doesn't taste different than if I put the carrots next to the chicken, right? Like it's all the same plate of food.
Eat it the way you want. Okay, I'm not hand feeding you this. Just don't eat the carrots first.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I hate like you have the full bowl, like the full grid, and then they're like, "Oh, I want a Delishkin egg." I'm like, "You're not getting a Delishkin egg. There's no
Yes.
room on the board."
Yes. So that's the other thing that they will ask. They'll ask for a specific thing. Sometimes it's like, I want the base of the food to be this. Sometimes it's, I want this specific ingredient. And sometimes it's, I don't want, like, what, what's the umami guy's name?
Oishi.
Oishi. He once asked me for no vegetables.
Sir, you are made of vegetables.
So yeah, that was a fun one to do because obviously there's a lot of vegetables in the game.
Yeah, I gave him rice.
So I think one of the things, which is funny because not a vegetable,
No.
one of the things that I find odd about this is that I don't really understand why we have two different kind of cooking concepts, right? I found it really disconcerting the first time I was going through, and I'm like, oh, I see how cooking works. We do all these mini games and then we serve the food. And then he was like, oh, it's time to serve your guardian. And I'm like, oh,
Where's my
okay,
dinner?
fine. I guess I'll be doing a meal for them in the same sort of way. And then it goes, haha, no, here's a completely different way of cooking for them. And I was
Choose
like,
your grid.
okay, all right, fine. And then it suddenly throws all of the information at you, and you're like, this is too much information. I can't take this all in at once. Fine, let's continue, and I'll learn it as we go. Spoiler alert, you won't learn it as you go.
I honestly sat here for a few minutes and I'm like questioning. I'm like, there's no way I'm this stupid. Like, what am I missing?
Yeah.
Turns out I just am. But yeah, like I hit A twice by accident and then it was done. And it's like, well, good luck to you. And there's no place to like to have the tutorial again. So
Yeah.
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 Uh,
Okay, so
Surprisingly, this is the part that I liked was the cards and the combat.
yeah, so can we talk about this anymore in isolation, or are we going to have to go on to the battling now?
Um, so the cards have abilities too, not just points.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about
Um,
that without the actual
yeah,
combat,
like
right?
there's
So let's
yeah,
let's
no, I guess
let's
that's
let's
about
talk
it.
about the combat then. So after you
Okay.
have fed your guardian this complicated, overcomplicated platter of food, um, and either
Made with
given them
magic
what they
fire.
want or you've not, and also either given them what you'll need for the combat or you've not. Then they go off and they're saying, "I'll see you in the tea house when I'm done." And you shut down the restaurant, and now you move on to night. So it's now nighttime. So we can then go.
Mhm.
I mean, you can do the same sort of stuff if you want, or you can then just go up to the tea house and talk to your guardian, and then your guardian will put on a little puppet show for you.
Adorable.
I kind of, as much as there are things about this game that I'm not enjoying, and I don't know whether I overall enjoyed playing the game, it is very full of whimsy, which I do enjoy.
It, it's true. Like you have your meals cooked by this magical fire raccoon that enhances it with flavor.
Yeah.
And then the little puppet show. It's like I it's hard for people that are just listening, but one of the guardians is like this very stoic, tall, like dark creature thing, and you just picture him putting on this little puppet show behind a stand.
Yeah. So you go up
That
and you
part was
ask.
adorable.
Yeah, absolutely. So you go up and you ask for the puppet show, and then this is where you do the combat. So they start off by telling you about the start of their journey, and you have a map which has multiple different kind of paths to get to a specific point. Now, the overall important thing to point out is that the point of this bit is to get to a specific point where you can then respawn from next time you do it. If you don't
Yeah.
get all the way, then you'll have to try again next time. But there are so sometimes it will be like a camp. Sometimes they'll. Part of my problem is that I was never quite clear which bit I'm meant to be getting to, right? Because sometimes a boss would be the end and that would be fine, and sometimes it would have to be a specific camp, and sometimes it would
Mm-hmm.
be like other point, like there's it's never quite clear. There was one point where I came there was one point where I came across I defeated a boss and it was like, oh, do you want to continue or do you want to go back to camp? And I was like, oh, sounds like I've got to a spawn point, I want to go back. And then it turns out that that was not a camp. I couldn't stay there. So the next time I had to
Yeah.
redo all of that, including the boss. That was very annoying. I think it doesn't do a good job of telling you which points are going to be the spawn points.
Nope.
And then there was another point where I was one away, and I think this is a scripted thing. I was one away from a spawn point when you come across one of the characters who you've been looking for, and you have to bring them back to camp, and you're not allowed to continue. And I was one away from the spawn point, and I had to redo all of that again. And there was no,
Uh,
I didn't have a choice in that.
was that for the sweet caretaker for
No,
Azur?
no, I don't.
No, which
I
one?
think it was Tavers.
Oh yeah, you find him. And
You
it's like, well,
find
let's get you
Tavers,
back
and
to
it's like
camp.
we're going back now. And I was like, but there's a spawn point right there. I want to go to that,
Just let me get
please.
there.
Just like, can we just go one more
Just come with
meter?
me for a minute. Yeah.
Just go to this camp and then we'll go back. I was so frustrated with that one. So yeah, sometimes it's not quite clear where you're going, but the general idea is there's a bunch of different paths with uh points along it where in which things happen, some battles,
Hmm.
some things where you're getting items, and at some point there is a camp or something else where you will be able to spawn from next time.
Did you realize on the map that it shows you what flavors are being used? Because it took me very long to realize that.
I did not notice that, and
So if
I don't think that helps because my big problem with this is it doesn't tell you before you go out. It's too late by this point. It doesn't help me knowing now. I
you can
needed to know
look,
when I was cooking.
there's a map at the restaurant. It says, let's see where we've been. And you can open up and it shows you the regions and it shows you where you've been and it'll show you like the bitter path or the sour path.
But do they not change every time you go?
I don't think so.
Ah,
Because it took me so I was in the Beastro Discord just reading through
ah.
some stuff. And yeah, so it says like, oh, the lower part of this region is salty or sweet.
I
And
don't
then
know. I don't know whether this team ever got anybody who hadn't made the game to try it because there's so many things like that that are like, sure, the information's there if you know it's there. But
I
if I
know. I
don't
was
know
like,
it's there, how am I meant to know it's there? Like I thought the
it
whole
took me,
point of the
yeah.
cooking and their opinions is to so you it's like because if they come and they say I want specific things, they want specific flavor palettes, and I'm like, okay, great, that'll give me information as to what cards I need. But no, that's not how it works.
No. Yeah, because I
Oh.
realized after, because there's the map, it's like, let's see where we've been. And then you open it up and you can just choose like marshlands or the coast or whatever. And it shows you whatever path. If you go up, it's the mountains are purple or the mountains are blue at the bottom. And that shows you what flavors that are used on those parts of the region. But you wouldn't know that. You would have no way of knowing that.
Yep.
I feel that sigh, Al. I feel it.
Okay, well let's get it. So that's done. We'll move past that. So
Like, just shake your head.
there's a number of different things that can happen on your path through the map. One of which is obviously the battles. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you can also gather ingredients. So you might come across an ingredient, and then there's a very small mini game where you have to like keep the shovel within the circle, and then you get the ingredient.
Yeah.
And there's kind of other things that can happen as well. Like as I mentioned, you can come across different people. There's bosses as well. You can have battles that are two creatures against you. There's a number of different things. So battles time. It's a relatively simple concept with some complications in the flavors that we'll get to.
Yeah.
Basically, what happens is you have your hand of cards taken from your deck of cards that you created from the cooking. And your opponent shows a card of a specific value and a specific flavor. What you need to do is you need to have the right flavor to play against that, which I'll get to in a minute, of a higher value. That means that whoever has the higher value then will do damage to the other player. The complication here is this flavors. So there are two things you can do. You can either provide a card of the exact same flavor, in which case higher number wins, or you can choose the number which the card which balances the flavor. And if you choose, no, that's not enhances, that's balances. So if you choose, so for example, if we go back to the chart, if the opponent chooses bitter, the flavor that balances that is umami. So if they choose a bitter one, you can choose umami, and that will half their number, which is obviously a massive advantage in the combat.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't understand about this logic lore wise is why these flavors both balance each other. So why is my card balancing theirs, but theirs isn't balancing mine?
I know that. Yeah.
I do not understand this. This is not like in Pokemon types where electric beats water because it's strong against it. This is like two being strong against each other, but only one actually does it and it's ours. Don't understand that.
Yeah. And then to complicate it, if you have the enhancing card for your card your original card that you put, then you can do double the damage or whatever the special ability is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that took me a while too. I'm like, oh, my own enhancing mine. Okay, because I thought originally it was like just trump card.
Yeah, so the enhancing the enhancing is so let's go back to my example. So if the opponent chooses bitter, I can either choose umami to half their number, or I can choose bitter to have to just match the number. But once I've chosen my card, if I choose the umami card, if I have a sour card, that will enhance my umami. So I can choose that as well, and that increases the damage. If I chose the bitter, I would have to choose salty to enhance it. And this was the thing that confused me the most, because I was like, I was never getting the ability to enhance, and I was confused why. And it's because it's a different flavor for each flavor. I figured it out eventually. I now understand the combat. Doesn't mean I like it, but I understand it now.
It was a slog to get to that understanding for me.
So it means you can also balance and enhance at the same time.
Yeah.
So if they choose bitter, you can balance it with an umami and then also enhance your own card with a sour.
Yep.
Or you can just use umami, which is the same one, and enhance it with a sour. No, bitters. It was bitter. You can use the bitter, which is the same color, and enhance it with the salty.
Yeah.
So, depending on what card you have, it might be better to choose the same flavor as they have because you can then enhance it. Whereas if you have only the umami, which enhances it, sorry, it balances it, you might not have a sour to enhance that enough to make enough damage because obviously a lot of the cards numbers can get quite high near kind of the middle to end of the game.
Hmm.
So yeah, I understand all of that now. I do wish they had given us a better way to understand it or explain it again. I think their graphic is incredibly confusing, and I think that
Yes,
just some of the logic around why this is the case is weird and leads to the confusions a bit more as well.
I think you're right.
I
It
don't
was,
I don't
yeah,
dislike it as a concept. I just think the way it was implemented and explained is weird. Like I
yeah,
almost think it would be better if instead of it was like these two flavors enhance, these two flavors enhance, these two flavors enhance, and then these two balance, these two balance. If it was like a circle where everything enhanced one and balanced the other one, not a different one, and
that's what
then
I
it's
would think
like
too.
and then it's much more like kind of the Pokemon types, right? Where it's like this one is strong against this one is weak against this one.
Yeah, because there in this game, there's no neutral damage.
Well, the
Like,
neutral damage would be the same flavor.
yeah, as long as you have the higher card of it. Like, I don't know if
Yes.
it's, yeah. So I found for me, I wasn't doing the higher numbers.
Yeah.
I was building my own thing with my own enhancement.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the game, you need every flavor anyway
Yeah.
for the boss.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Oh my
So
gosh.
my main problem with actually being able to do this, right? In terms of my skills, was just being able to get enough of the different cards for different flavors because I understand that it shows you the flavors that are used, but it's also that's not true in that the bosses will use other flavors, right? So you might be
Yep.
in an area where it's primarily umami, but then they'll just throw in a salty, and you're like, oh, I don't have anything to deal with this. I'm dying. Like I'm not going to
Yeah.
manage this now.
That day is done. All
And so
those
that
ingredients are gone.
so it's really hard to be able to build up a deck that is both strong enough to beat the main flavor that you're doing, right? Because you need a few cards that are high numbers, but also wide enough that you can not die against any flavor theoretically.
Yeah.
That was really
Do you
hard
want
for me.
do you want to know what the most powerful recipe is for the best
Go for
cards?
it.
It's a hot dog.
Ah,
That's something we didn't even mention, the skill tree to unlock recipes.
yeah. I kind of had the bit about like the ingredient investigation listed, but I didn't really get
Oh,
to that.
okay.
We can come to that in a minute once we've finished all
Sure.
the stuff,
Sure.
because there's lots of other small bits like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, over time you are going through these maps, you're getting to the end of a map, and then the next time you'll go to a different map and continue that. And the idea is that as you're going, you're unlocking different guardians who have different flavor enhancements. And you're also just going through a story which we probably won't talk a huge amount because I mean, it's not
What
particularly deep.
story?
um, but yeah, anything else to talk about this battles or the map specifically you think about?
I think we covered it, but yeah, it was really annoying to have the sudden unexpected flavor
Yeah.
because you can't provide any like if you're not trumping it or using another flavor, then you can't do anything.
Yeah, there's literally no way you can get out of that.
Like there's no way to just do neutral damage because even with the same type, you have to have the higher number.
Yeah.
So there's no way to just even each other out. It's either you're winning with the higher number on the flavor card or you're winning
Yeah.
with the type advantage.
The other frustration I found as well, so you only have 5 cards, max 5 cards in your hand.
Yeah.
And if you need different cards because you didn't draw the right ones because you have one card that works against the card they have, you have to discard your hand and that costs you 2 HP.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I died sometimes because I was like, there's a card I can get, but I don't have enough health to get to it. So
Yeah, that was
I
a pain
literally killed
cycling
myself by
through.
discarding my hand.
Did you get to the point of the game where you got fight bites?
No, what's that? Although, oh no, I
So
did. I never used them. They were the little, yeah, I unlocked it, but by that point, I was like, I know enough about this game. I'm done. I can't be bothered anymore.
okay. So yeah, you get these little like instants, I'll say, that you can recover stamina. There's different ones that you make, or there's ones that put the guide as the opponent to sleep, or there's one that you can draw your whole hand for no stamina.
Oh.
There's different ones. Before the final boss, all I used was put them to sleep. But we'll talk about that after when we get to the boss because it's worth talking about.
Okay. Well, so yeah, so there's standard battles, which is just you against a monster. There's double battles, which is you against two monsters.
Yeah,
And I guess the only real additional complication that brings is that sometimes they might have different flavors, in which case you can only take one of them down.
yeah.
And so you kind of have to have a decent amount of HP so you can kind of tank a few hits until one of them is dead and then you attack the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the bosses, which are
Mm.
quite difficult. Obviously, they are bosses. But I found they tended to have, well, obviously, they had stronger cards just in general. So that's a problem. But yeah, they had more variety of flavors as well.
Yeah, that's when I learned that no matter what your caretaker's type is, you need to have all the flavors available in your deck.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything kind of fundamentally different about them other than that. It's just kind of like they are stronger and therefore you've got to be better, you know?
Yeah, and then they have the different abilities they can put on you. Like I think one of them poisons you and one flips all your cards around so you can't see.
Oh, I didn't
Um
encounter that one.
no, the
That doesn't sound like
terrorizer, that's in the
that doesn't
salty
sound fun.
region. No, yeah, so it turns all your cards around and then it has a chance to confuse you. So I was gonna do like 20 damage to them and then I hit myself. And then I knocked
Oh,
myself out. And there's even if you redraw your hand with new cards, they're still all backwards.
right. Okay.
So that was kind
Okay.
of a pain. That's a cute
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
though.
Yeah, well, I mean, sure, but also incredibly frustrating to actually ever be
Oh,
able to
yeah,
just
I
defeat them.
can't say I wasn't swearing a little bit.
I think the most frustrating thing about them is like their gimmicks mean that you
Yes.
then die and you have to redo 10 spots on the map to get back to it.
Yep.
This has always been my frustration with things where it's not, you can't just like respawn wherever. You have to, you only have specific points on the map where you can
Yeah,
respawn.
you're
I've
back at the
always found that
camp.
sort of frustrating because it's like I can't just keep replaying the same level. I have to get back to that level in the first place.
And not only that, for this game, you have to do the whole recipe all over again, do a whole
Yeah,
new day, gather all the ingredients, and then hope that you have the ingredients
yeah,
that you lost. It's yeah, it was quite this day night cycle.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, as you say, there's a bunch of different effects you can have from the cards. So there's ones that can affect you, where if you win, you get HP back. There's like defense ones where you
Mhm.
get a certain amount of defense, and then it means if you get hit, then you take less damage. Um, and then there's obviously ones that affect the other the opponent, so you can put them to sleep, as you say. That was a very helpful one. You can, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things like that.
Yeah. I honestly found I barely use the abilities. Like I like the ones that enhance my own stamina.
Yeah.
I didn't really care to poison them, and I only really did the sleep abilities at the end for the final
Mhm,
boss
mhm,
because it's
mhm.
basically a countdown.
Yeah, I kind of liked the weakened one because it meant that when you next hit them, they took more damage.
Yeah.
That was on a lot of my cards.
My favorite one was the double hit. So if you have the type advantage, you hit them twice with the full
Oh,
amount. So
nice.
you could double the ability of your card.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably about it with the battles. Once you defeated a boss, often there was a camp where you could then stop or continue, and then you can go back to the village, and the next time you go, you can respawn from that point. But that's kind of it, battling wise.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously along the way, you've been gathering more ingredients, which, assuming you don't
Yes.
die, will be helpful for the next day where you start it all over again.
Yeah. Repeat until you finish the game.
So there's a few other things as well. So you're still nighttime when you finish the puppet show. You can then continue to do, gathering if you've not gathered everything. There's the night fishing, as you mentioned. I think there's some of the gathering ingredients that are night only as well. So it's worth going around having a look for some things. Um, and then you can go to sleep and you wake up the next day. to start all over again. As you mentioned, there's a couple of things that we haven't really talked about. So there was a skill tree of recipes. So as you sell things in the restaurant, you gain XP, and that gives you chef points. And then each recipe costs you a certain number of chef points to unlock. But also, I don't know if I figured out. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. I think you can unlock an ingredient, obviously, when you've unlocked the recipe before that. But I think you have to have had all of the ingredients for that recipe in your bag at some point to unlock it
I
as
think
well.
you need to have all of them when you make it.
Well, when you make it, sure, but not when you unlock it. So I think when
No,
you,
no, sorry. No, like when you want to make it, like to unlock it for the first time, you have to have everything.
I don't think you did, because I managed to unlock something I didn't
Really?
have all the ingredients for, but it was that I had all the ingredients at some point.
Oh, okay. So then I stalled myself for no reason. So I thought you had to have them in your inventory when you unlocked it.
I might be wrong. I'm
Because
not
I know
sure,
that
but I thought
I,
that one of them I unlocked, and I couldn't actually make it that day because I didn't have all the ingredients. But I had all the ingredients before except one, and then I got the final ingredient having used up something else, but I still then had that ingredient,
oh,
and then it listed it as unlockable at that point. This
okay.
was
Maybe
this
I
was what
was,
I found most confusing, is like you're in this bit is you're sitting there looking at everything. I've unlocked everything I can, and there's a whole bunch of things that are completely locked and not able for me to unlock. And I was like, why can't I unlock these things? And then the next day I had a new ingredient. I noticed something was unlockable and it had that ingredient on it.
right. Okay. So that's why I thought that I had to have them with me. Like I have the points and have all the stuff so I could make it
Yeah.
for the first time, like to unlock it, I guess.
I
I don't
don't
know,
know.
but yeah, I unlocked all of the recipes, but there was some stuff that I was missing that are like super rare drops. So
Yeah.
you still have to do more venturing anyway. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
there's a chance that you lose it because you only bring back a portion of your loot if you call back to the
Yeah.
camp or back
Yeah.
to your
Yeah.
the tea
Yeah.
house. Um, yeah. But the so yeah, there's things that you can feed your caretaker, your guardian, and then there's recipes that you use just for the patrons. So with the
Yes.
patrons you get the money, and
Yeah.
then with the caretaker you get the extra cards for combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a skill tree for recipes, but the other thing you have to do is when you get a new ingredient, you have to investigate that ingredient. And it's basically just figuring out how to use it. But all that is
Just
is
the one time.
it's just the one time that you have to do it the first time. But what I find really funny is it talks about it as if you have to figure out what to do with the ingredient. But you're not figuring that out. It just tells you which one to do, and then you just have to do the mini game, and then you're like, "Oh, success!"
Yeah, the good thing with that though is that even if you mess up with that, thankfully you don't have to go get another ingredient. Because I thought
Yeah,
if I mess this
yeah,
ingredient
yeah,
up, I'm quitting the game if I have to go find it
yeah,
again. So
yeah,
thankfully
yeah.
for that
Thankfully,
part,
thankfully.
you can just restart the trial or whatever.
Yeah, so the one thing about that is sometimes it'll be like you have to do specific things. It's not just about trying to do it as well as possible. So like there was one which was like you have to burn everything in the hotspot, but only once. And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, the wording was confusing though. It made me think that I was able to burn it at most once, but no, it's not at most once. It's once exactly. So I
do
was
it one
trying to not
time.
burn it at all. I succeeded, and then it said you failed, and I'm like, what do you mean fail? And I was like, oh, it wants me to burn it.
Yeah, that
I
got me too because I'm like, I'm
what?
not. It's sautéed perfectly fine. What do you mean? You have to burn it once.
And then there was one which was like you have to. It was in the oven. You have to roast it, both of them to 50%, neither of them to 100%.
Yeah,
And I'm like, what
yeah.
are we doing here? What is this cooking?
Kind of cook these things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. If you fully cook it, you've failed. What is this, a steak?
yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that took me a minute. I'm like, what do you mean? I did it perfectly. It's like, oh no, to 50%. Okay.
But that's it. But this is the thing. Like, like if I was cooking something to medium rare, I would consider that as 100%. That's 100% of the cooking that you were meant to do. So
Yeah.
why are we getting 50% of the way towards what you want to do? That's what I find weird. Because like when you actually do the recipe, you're doing everything to 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily there's not too many things that you have to like study.
Yeah,
Um, but the few ones got me a little bit like, what am
yeah.
I doing wrong?
Yeah, it's like rare monster parts that you're coming across basically because it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
no one's cooked with this, so we need to figure out how to do it. Whereas I guess fish is like, well, what are you going to do? You're going to cook it.
Yeah. Uh,
And then I guess there's kind of like small other bits and pieces, like there's shops that you unlock, and then the shops give you other things like we've mentioned before, you can unlock a bunch of things. You can add more animals, you can add more fishing, not fishing, well, you said there was another fishing thing.
just the one
More
additional spot.
more farming plots, and then there's kind of like other forageables that you can create, like there's kind of plants that you can get to spawn in this town center and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. And then there's a different so I bought everything at the store because I thought it was an achievement.
Uh-huh.
It's not.
Oh no.
No, and then you can customize your dishes.
Oh
I don't
yes.
know if you saw that, like the
I
plates.
saw that. I did not care.
Yeah, I thought I had to do that too, so I got all those. And then
Like time
there's you can
to
change your
change these dishes that I never look at.
yeah, you can't even see them. Like I think they're on display on the counter, but you don't actually see them when you're serving.
Yeah, who's coming into the restaurant to look at the dishes? I'm coming
Yeah.
in to cook and then run away and go watch my puppet show.
And go into the puppet show. And yeah, you can change your apron and you can change the banners on the town. And that's it.
Sure. Sure.
Oh, and the door of the restaurant, you can change the curtain. So I changed mine to the chicken or the delishkin. I thought it would add something, but it didn't.
Okay, so that I think that's all of the mechanics. Do we want to talk about the story at all?
I don't know how far you got. How,
I
like where did you end?
I finished where we'd got Tavers back. He was in chains and I was talking to him and I was like, I'm bored.
Yeah. Are we okay to spoil all of it? Or do you want to save it for
All
people to
right,
play on their
I think we've
own?
talked about everything else, so this is your spoiler warning. If you really care about the story of Beastro, tune out now. There's nothing else after this other than our usual outro. So go away. All right, spoil away.
Okay, for the cool kids club. So you unlock the spicy caretaker.
Ooh, spicy.
Surprise, surprise, they're the end boss.
Yep.
So basically everyone is, oh, why didn't you come rescue everyone like everyone else? And she's like, haha, I'm the one that's actually causing all of this.
Oh no.
And then she breaks out of her chain. So like Callan, like the bitter caretaker, puts Travers in chains because he doesn't trust him. And then he's like, wait a minute, you're not so bad. So once you unlock Travers, he does nothing except stand outside the restaurant and say, what can I help you with today, chef? And then he takes over the one mechanic that you don't want to do. And then
Yeah.
you'll always get a perfect score for that one mechanic for the mini game. As you go across all the regions, you come across the spirits, like the little animals.
Yeah.
And then they kind of move into your town. They don't do anything. It's just to keep track of what you've seen and who's there. I thought there was more combat caretakers, but there's Oishi, the umami one.
Yeah.
There's Azure, which is a sweet one that is a pain to unlock because she won't come until you unlock the dough trees in the game.
Oh, see, I got her quite quickly because I was like definitely unlocking those.
Yeah. So that's how you tame the Fenpires, which is where you get a certain ingredient
Yeah.
to make the treats. And then there's Callan, the bitter one. That's the one I use the most. And then there's Suna, who does the flavor enhancing crystals that I never used. Again, if I unlocked her towards the middle of the game, I probably would have, but I had no idea what to do with her. So she just was on my beach. And then I unlocked Colsey, which is the frog in the salty region, like the day before the game is over. And they don't do combat. They just do like he collected the ingredients around your island for you, so you don't have to do it. Which kind of defeats the whole purpose if it's like you and you like doing the farming.
Yeah.
But it's optional.
Well, just to be clear, it's not like I was like, oh, let me get at that farming. It was more just like one of the one of the things I really like about farming games is the kind of mindless monotony of it, right?
Yeah, just go gather your stuff. Anyway, so you come across a spicy caretaker who you just discover her in the desert and you're like, oh no, like come live with us. And then it turns out she's the bad guy. So then it unlocks the final boss takes place in the spicy region. And then you come across the spicy spirit.
Don't get excited,
Uh,
listeners. It's not that kind of spicy.
spicy. No, no. So the spicy cards complement the sweet cards to do the most damage in the game.
Yeah.
Um, However, when you do your final battle with her name is Prakash, the spicy boss. No matter so the fight is really hard and she has cards that are up to 16 damage.
16.
Yeah,
I was
so
finding it hard with the 9.
yeah, so the highest cards that you can get, like just base card is 10.
Right.
From what I've seen, is like you can get 10, but you can supplement with the enhanced flavors in your deck.
Yeah.
Um, so for the final boss, you know how you have your magical raccoon flambe, like the one
Yeah.
that does all the magic fire and stuff. She tries to go after her and then collapses. So then you, whatever caretaker you take goes over to Prakash and you do the fight. And there's 3 different stages of the fight. Like with every boss fight, once you think you're done, you're not done.
Right.
So then she summons all these monsters that have completely off pairings to what she has. Like, so you have to have every single flavor in your deck. And then towards the end, she summons the sun.
Oh.
She's like pulling down on the sun like
how
a
very Hollow
spirit
Knight.
bomb. Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a spirit bomb and Dragon Ball. And then you have a 5-turn countdown, and then you have to get her to 0 in those 5 turns. No
Oh,
matter how
no.
close to 0 you get, no matter what your health is, she knocks you out.
Too stressful. No, thank
So yeah, so no, the easy way to do it is you put her to sleep for 3 rounds, and you just do as much damage as you can. And then she'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Can you guys forgive me?" And then it's like, "Yeah, no problem." And then you get the credits, and then you turn on the game thinking there's a post game, and it's the same boss fight for eternity.
you. Oh no, they did the Zelda.
Yeah, and
Where
it
you never
turns out so
actually, technically never defeat the final boss. I hate that so
right.
much.
Yeah,
I'm
it
so
pissed
glad
me
I never got
off,
to
to
the
be
end. I
quite
just find it
honest.
so frustrating.
I was like, "What do you mean?" So no, and then there even is like this weird dialogue that I feel like I shouldn't have been able to read this. It basically says, "Just so you know, once we do this final mission, we can't do anything else."
Oh.
And I'm like, can you word this a little different? Like, I feel like this is just a filler line, but it basically says, if this is our final mission, we have no reason to venture out anymore.
Right, okay.
But then that's it.
I see what they mean. I see what they mean.
Yeah, but it's just worded. And this
It's basically like this is the final boss. Are you sure
yeah, it's
you
like,
want to play the
warning.
final boss?
Yeah. It's literally in like yellow writing, warning, anything
yeah.
after this. And I'm like, could we have done this in a different way? Like, totally sucked me out of it. But yeah, so then basically for Infinity, you're just doing the boss fight over and over again. And there's no end game. Or sorry, post game.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
like, well, that's about it.
Yeah, not really sure where to go with this. It's an interesting game.
I love so I know that there are other card mechanic games like that exist. I've just never played them myself, but I was talking to my husband and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's other deck games like that." I love the idea. I feel like there could be a lot of improvement.
Yes, it's not the best implemented of deck games. I'm not a huge fan of how it works, but I mean, if you're interested in that, one I would recommend is Ooblets. I don't know if you're aware of Ooblets.
Okay.
So it is also a farming game, where you farm creatures, these Ooblets, and you gather them together, and it's kind of like Pokemon in that, where you're gathering together your creatures that you farm, and then you make a little team, and each different one gives you different cards. So the cards that you get is based on the members of your team, your Ooblets.
Oh, okay.
And then it kind of works in a similar sort of way. I think it's done a lot better, the actual battling and how I think the fact that it's very clear beforehand what your cards are going to be, right? Because you've been training up your Ooblets and you have your list of cards, and you kind of build them up to work together. And it's not about, I think the typings ends up confusing this game more than helping. So
Hmm.
yeah, but if you're interested in that, I would highly recommend Ooblets. It's a great game.
Yeah. If
Um,
I could 100% this game, I could probably play anything at this point.
making it sound like a Souls-like.
Yeah. Okay, I don't want to insult I appreciate companies that don't make the same game as everybody else. I like when people
Mhm.
try to implement something new.
Yeah,
That's not to say nothing could have been improved, but I love the concept, but it could have there could be some fine tuning to it. I don't know, did your game crash at all?
no,
Oh, okay,
no,
mine
I didn't get
crashed
any
twice.
crashes. Interesting.
I went in the Beastro Discord. They have a page for bugs and reports and stuff, and
Yeah.
which is nice. Like they seem pretty responsive.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm definitely open to people trying new things. And this is not one of those ones where I'm like, this is a bad game. I think it's not for me, but I could see how some people would really gel with it.
Yeah, and like I think the fact for me, it definitely annoyed me, but I think the fact that I was disappointed that it ended so abruptly shows that I did want more. So like if
Yeah.
they were to do expand extra flavors, although I don't know how that skill tree would
No,
work, like how that
no,
thing would work.
not
Okay,
more flavors. Don't do it.
maybe
Don't tempt them. Don't give them ideas.
yeah, maybe more regions or like a new recipe pack or something in the future would definitely because this game's only been out like less than a month, I think.
Yeah.
I think it came out early June.
Yeah, it's very new.
So who knows where they're going to go with it? But I really I appreciate developers that try something new.
Yep. Agreed.
And I think that this was done well. Like it could have been done better, but for an intro to it, I think it's great.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, it looks great. It feels great. Everything kind of works the way it's meant to. I mean, you got two crashes, but that was two crashes over probably what, 20 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not bad. And it's kind of saving as you go, so it's not you wouldn't lose a huge amount of time, I
No,
suspect.
I didn't lose anything. Thankfully,
Yeah,
it's
there
I
you
think it's
go
the
then.
auto saves when you go
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
restaurant and the tea house. So
I never even thought about the saving. It was so seamless with its autosaves.
mhm.
Um, and I yeah, as a game, it is definitely well made, and they clearly have some very strong opinions on what they wanted from this. It's just it doesn't fit with what I want from this sort of thing. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's fair. I found that it meshed very strangely. Like to have
Also show your information in better ways, please. Thank you.
yeah,
That's the one
have
thing.
someone in
That's the
your
one
town
thing I
that
would
you can
say.
have someone in your town that just sits in a little house that you can go have coffee with, or someone in the tea house and be like, "Oh, have you heard of this?" Or like, "Do you want to try out your cards?"
Like they could even
Something
just
like
like,
that.
oh, you failed your first boss. Do you want to see the tutorial again? Yes,
Yeah,
please.
because even it's you're too bad, so sad. Like there's nowhere to go, and like you
Yeah.
said, the week like it's such a new game. I was looking through the guides, and I'm like, well, looks like I'm gonna be writing this. But it made me a little more satisfied, thinking, oh, well, I figured it out myself because I'm in the Discord. People are asking for help, and I'm like, okay, it wasn't just me that was confused about this.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe there could be a patch where they add like something, like
Yeah, maybe.
rewatch tutorial or like something like that.
We shall see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Chelsea, for joining me to talk about Bistro.
Yes. Thank you for having me and for the recommendation.
Definitely a lot less emotional and a more in depth, I think.
These flavors just got me so emotional.
Is there
No,
anything
it
you would like
was
to share with the audience?
at this point, I don't think so. Play
Fair
Beastro
enough.
if you want. I think it's good. It is worth playing. You don't need to 100% it like I did. In fact, I advise against that because you might be disappointed at the end when you don't really feel any sort of accomplishment.
But now you've got the number and it says
I have
gold.
my badges on Steam. I do.
It's
I saw
not a very, it's not a common thing to have 100% of the game.
Well, I was looking through some of the accomplishments and even stuff that progresses the story. It says like 3% of people have this
Yeah.
achievement. I'm like, wow, a
Yeah.
lot of people are not even finishing this game.
A lot of people aren't even starting the game.
That's true. Yeah, they bought it on a sale. It just sits there for eternity.
Yeah. All right. Well, you listeners can find the podcast on Tumblr and on Blue Sky at THS Pod. You can send us feedback from our website, harvestseason.club. What feedback do we want this time? Tell us your favorite flavor from the 6 flavors in Beastro. We've got umami, sour, bitter, salty, sweet, and spicy. Which is your favorite flavor?
Mm-hmm. Oh, for me?
Well, you can tell us yours as well.
Sure, sweet. Totally sweet.
Yeah, obviously sweet. You can also on our website find links to everything to do with the podcast, including a link to our Patreon, patreon.com/thspod, where you can get access to the Slack. What's been happening recently on the Slack?
Talking about Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, I was getting cancelled. That's what was happening because of my credits conversation.
Oh no. No, I think you were right.
Calm down.
We also talked about
Winnie
the
Don't get
Pooh.
cancelled as well. Don't get cancelled as well, Chelsea.
Okay, join for the Winnie the Pooh chat.
You also on the Patreon get access to our bonus episodes of the podcast. We just released one where me and Kevin were talking about the Nintendo Direct from June. So come and get that. I think that's everything. Thank you, Chelsea, again for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, listeners, for listening. And until next time, have a good harvest. The Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley, with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.
Are you going to play it anymore, or are you just done? You're done. On to something else.
No, I'm done. Yeah. Moonlight Peaks tomorrow. That's what my next couple of weeks is going to be.